The Galactic Military Academy prided itself on being the most elite training ground in 7 systems. Species from across the known universe sent their best and brightest to train among the stars. It was here that apex predators honed their natural abilities into military precision. Cadet Tom Reed was the only human in his class. While the other cadets possessed natural armor, venomous appendages, or superhuman strength, Tom had only his wits and the standard-issue training suit. The instructors had placed him in Delta Squadron anyway, citing diplomatic necessity. The Terran Alliance had only recently joined the Galactic Council after all. "Simulation Day," announced Commander Vex, his exoskeleton gleaming under the training bay lights. "Today's exercise will test your survival instincts against the apex predators of Sector 9. Tom felt the stares of his classmates. Sector 9 was notorious for its hostile wildlife, creatures that had evolved in gravitational conditions triple that of Earth's. "Reed," barked Commander Vex, "you're first." The training bay fell silent. Even the most aggressive cadets stilled their mandibles and retracted their claws. Everyone knew humans were physically inferior. Some had already placed bets on how quickly Tom would fail. Tom entered the simulation chamber without protest. The door sealed behind him with a pneumatic hiss. "Simulation begins in 3, 2, 1, came the computerized voice. The sterile white walls shimmered and transformed into the dense jungles of Sector 9. Gravity increased, pressing down on Tom's shoulders like an invisible weight. The air grew thick with humidity and the scent of alien vegetation. Through his earpiece, Tom heard the betting pool growing. 50 credits says he doesn't last 2 minutes, chittered Cadet Cruel, a spider-like arachnoid whose 8 eyes could track multiple targets simultaneously. "I give him 30 seconds, rumbled Cadet Dax, whose scaled hide could withstand direct energy weapon fire. Tom checked his equipment: standard-issue shock baton, emergency beacon, and field scanner. The scanner was already picking up movement in the underbrush. The first beast emerged without warning. A razorback, 3 meters tall, covered in bony plates with 6 legs ending in hooked claws. Its elongated jaw could snap a battlecruiser's support beam in half. It was the apex predator on 12 different worlds. It charged. Tom didn't run. From the observation deck, Commander Vex tilted his head in curiosity. The razorback closed the distance in seconds. Tom stood his ground, adjusting his stance slightly. At the last possible moment, he sidestepped and struck with his shock baton. The creature collapsed mid-charge, its massive bulk skidding through the undergrowth. Silence from the observation deck. The scanner beeped again. 2 more signatures approaching, a pair of shadow stalkers, sleek predators that hunted in perfect coordination. Their reflective scales rendered them nearly invisible in the dappled light of the jungle. Tom didn't wait for them to attack. He moved purposefully toward a clearing, positioning himself with his back to a rock formation. The first shadow stalker leapt from above, its fangs dripping neurotoxin. Tom pivoted, bringing his baton up in a practiced arc. The creature dropped, its nervous system overloaded. Its partner attacked from the side. Tom dodged, but not quite fast enough. A glancing blow from its tail sent him stumbling. The creature readied for a killing strike. Tom recovered his balance and thrust the baton forward. The second shadow stalker convulsed and fell motionless beside its partner. Through his earpiece, Tom heard only stunned silence from his classmates. The simulation continued. Gravity increased again. The scanner showed a massive heat signature. Approaching. A Titan worm, the most feared creature in Sector 9. Its armored hide was impervious to most weapons, its bite force enough to crush battle armor. "Simulation termination recommended," suggested the computer. "Override," said Tom calmly. "Continue simulation." The ground trembled. Trees snapped as the Titan worm pushed through the jungle. It rose before Tom, towering 15 meters above him, its maw wide enough to swallow him whole. Tom stood motionless, studying the creature. The worm lunged. Tom rolled beneath it and struck upward with his baton, finding the small unarmored patch beneath its jaw, the only vulnerable point on its entire body. The Titan worm crashed to the ground with an impact that shook the entire simulation chamber. "Simulation complete," announced the computer. "All objectives achieved." The jungle faded, returning to the sterile white chamber. The door slid open. When Tom returned to the observation deck, not a single cadet would meet. His eyes. Commander Vex approached, his compound eyes unreadable. "Explain," he demanded. "Humans aren't apex predators, sir," Tom replied evenly. "We never were. On Earth, we weren't the strongest, fastest, or most naturally armed. We lived alongside creatures that could kill us with a single blow." "Then how did humans become the dominant species?" asked Cadet Cruel, mandibles twitching in confusion. "We observed. We studied. We learned the weaknesses of creatures far more dangerous than ourselves," Tom explained. "A razorback's neural cluster is exposed when it charges. Shadowstalkers have hypersensitive electrical receptors that overload easily. And Titan worms, they're nearly perfect except for that one spot under the jaw." Commander Vex made a sound. That might have been respect. "Knowledge as a weapon," Tom nodded. "The most dangerous predators rely on their natural advantages. They never needed to study their prey's weaknesses because they rarely failed to kill. But humans, we had to learn or die." The commander's exoskeleton clicked as he turned to address the stunned class. "This is why the human species now stands among the Galactic Council despite their physical limitations. They are not apex predators. They are apex hunters." As Tom took his place among his classmates, no one spoke. No one needed to. The message was clear. Underestimate humans at your peril. They may not survive through strength alone, but they had never needed to. They had something far more dangerous they knew how to win.